Attention podcasters. Are you still waiting for your podcast to pay off? Well, while you are chasing sponsors, others are getting paid right now with zero audience requirements. If you're not monetizing right now, you're absolutely falling behind. So I would encourage you to listen up because this episode could change everything with your podcast.
Welcome to the Business After Hours, where the ties loosen, the suit relax, and we talk business without the boardroom. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of business after hours.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Business After Hours podcast. Here with my co-host, Jared. How are you doing today, man?
It's Monday, right?
I feel you.
I
I feel you. But we have exciting news on a Monday, don't we?
I think so. Or at least exciting for us, right?
So we're learning. As most of you guys know, we did do an episode and we were talking about a Kickstarter. Kickstarter rejected us for our platform that we want to bring to public. So we've had to rechange things and redo another campaign. So where are we now, Jared?
Well, first I'd like to say, Kickstarter can fuck off. Sorry. No, I never understood the reasoning why they just said it didn't meet their guidelines, which was frustrating to begin with, because I really thought it did belong there. But anyways, I digress. I mean, we're right here at the beginning of the launch of the Indigo. It's going to be. It's pretty set up similar to Kickstarter and what that looks like, except that now obviously we're going to try to push it through Indigo. So obviously, love the support and assistance with that. So
yeah, so that campaign is going to be linked down below. But let's talk about PodCash AI, what it is, what it isn't, all the ins and outs of PodCash AI. So why don't you just kind of explain like a brief overview of what PodCash AI is and what it will be?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll start with the how the idea came up. Obviously, we have a podcast. We are looking for ways to obviously monetize, because obviously this isn't a full-time job for us. This isn't, something, we really tried to go out and do our podcast to help business owners and help elevate them. And through that process, we found, you start thinking of things, you find things. Well, there just really isn't a way that helps, us as smaller creators, to be able to monetize quicker, to be able to make a little bit of money. Now, when we're talking monetizing, we're not talking you're going to make $800 or $1,000, most likely. You're going to make a couple bucks. But again, it just helps you get to that, and I think that the building that relationship between podcasters and small businesses, especially those small businesses that don't have a large budget, I think this is ideal for both teams, right? Because not only are you going to get support from that small business, right? Because they're going to want to promote your video as well, because, it's their advertising. So you're getting help with that on growing your podcast, as well as, making a couple bucks to help with some of the costs that come with being in podcasting.
Right.
I think everybody generally understands that pain point, right? Because we watch the Joe Rogan Experience. You watch some of these other popular podcasts, and they've got their commercials. They're making money off of it. And so I think that's what podcast really does, is it kind of bridges that gap for these smaller creators, these creators that are just starting out, to help monetize them quicker and hopefully grow their channel quicker as well through the help of being monetized, because it's a partnership, it's a relationship between you and the business owner, and I think that's important to emphasize, is that this is going to help not just podcasters, but those smaller businesses with smaller budgets for advertising. The other thing that we kind of through the process of building this, we kind of discovered that we typically use Matchmaker. I don't, I'm sure other podcasters used it. We found a lot of our guests through there. Well, that also decided that they were no longer going to be offering their services for free, and that you had to pay for them. So finding guests is now going to be harder, right, for those people, because I don't want to pay that. You know what I mean? Like and I know most of the smaller people don't want to pay that either. So we've
Sure.
actually built that as well into our chat system, where they can identify, hey, I'm looking to be a guest, or I'm looking to for guests, and they could be able to look for those guests, and hopefully be able to create that relationship between guests and podcasters, and that as well. So that was kind of a pivot that we took, not at the beginning, but we saw a need there as well, and we really want to create an environment for podcasters to grow. We have a AI system that we worked in, to help with creating your ad scripts, with helping optimize your title of your video, help create transcripts, and I think there's some growth there, as well, when we start getting more developed. I think that the other thing to point out here is that me and Jeff are not creators, not developers, not anything with these platforms. So this was all built by me and Jeff, and we really took the time. It's taken us a very long time to get here, but
Yeah.
um, it's a learning curve for us too, that we were trying to come. And I think that in the future, part of the reason why we're doing this Indigo campaign is to be able to help try to find maybe some developers that want to jump on board and help us, get us across that finish line, or be there to help us grow it when it starts growing, right? Because I think our expertise is kind of limited there, if not any at all. So that's kind of what we're asking for some for that funding as well. Is that's what we anticipate that once this goes live, there's going to be some bugs, there's going to be some issues, and we're not necessarily. It may take us a while to get those bugs fixed out ourselves. Where being able to hire somebody that would be critical to that, as well as just growing it. I see big. I don't want to sound overly confident, obviously, I would love the feedback of everybody listening, or had the opportunity to look at this. Do you think this is something you would use? Is it something that we think, I mean, because we feel like it could be very big, but it's going to take developing relationship with podcasters and developing that relationship with the small businesses. Also, just because they're a small business doesn't mean they can't connect their podcasts. So if you have a podcast and small business, you can put both of them in here. So if you're a podcaster and you want to do advertising of your podcast, you can also look for some people to advertise your podcast as well, and be able to afford it too. So
Right.
it's not just for the small business owners that are looking for advertising as well. Podcasters definitely can be advertisers, and help promote their own stuff without having to worry about stretching that budget too big.
No, I agree. I mean, and I think what a lot of people don't understand, and not that I'm looking for any sympathy or anything like that, but like the reality is the cost to even start out as a hobby for podcasting. You got $100 in a microphone. You got $50 in headphones. You need a program. So now that's usually a monthly fee these days, whether it be something like StreamYard or something different, to record on, whether it be audio, visual, or both. So that's going to
Well,
run you.
you're also not including that. Yeah, typically we're doing this, not in person, but a lot of podcasters are in person too, and so then that requires a space for the podcasting recording episode, So depending on where you live, you may have that the ability to go to an office and create a podcast there.
Yeah, I was trying to get there.
Oh, sorry. You
um,
didn't get there too fucking fast. No, I'm just kidding.
but there's obviously a lot of monthly expenses that go out on podcasting, and for those that are just trying to get out, I mean, and or even have an aspiration of being able to podcast, this is an avenue that will be able to help you, because at the end of the day, even if you can monetize even $100 a month in
I would,
general, at,
I
at
mean,
minimum,
even if it's a dollar, I mean, it's better than nothing. It's so
I
again,
think we can get to 100.
I mean, yeah. Well, what I'm just saying that, of course, that there's big dreams there, but if you're just starting out, you may not get there depending on the number of episodes you record. Because it's based off of what the advertiser is looking for or wanting to do. So typically they'll say, for 4 episodes, 5 episodes, you can advertise, and so it may only be $1 an episode, it may be $2 an episode, depending on what the advertiser sets. And you don't have to accept it either. You know what I mean? So if you feel like it's too cheap, I mean, that's your decision as well. But at the end of the day, our goal is just, if we can get you just $1, it's better than nothing. It's something, it's helping even just a little bit. So I think that's important to add.
Sure. Yeah. So even if you can make $1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, and then you get businesses that obviously need advertisement, whether it be a small local business. Let's say you're a local sports podcaster for your local sports teams. Well, we can help get you or reach out to businesses in your local area to try to get them to advertise on your podcast so that you can get advertisements on there and through the program. And then who knows, maybe there's other podcasters that are local that are non-sports related that could use that same advertisement. Now that same small business can advertise on multiple local podcasters that are listened to for local listeners mainly. So
And you're
there's
not spending. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say you're not spending $100, $1,000 on keywords and all that stuff with like Google ads and TikTok ads, social media ads. They can get very, very expensive. Just for you to see a return on your investment. So the thing here is that you're probably spending not even half of that. You're way less, and you're still being able to advertise your business.
yeah. And then on top of that, obviously, then it'll be a source for you to be able to get guests for your podcast as well. So hopefully we can turn this into a multi-level stream of networking between business owners and podcasters combined together, and be able to really branch out and allow somebody to whether a small business to actually advertise and a small podcaster to actually be able to monetize as well on top of it. Um, so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. I mean, I was gonna talk about, the fact that everything we're talking about is free. Like we're not charging you to come to our platform. We're not charging you to. What would the way we've built this is to charge a commission off of the sale on that. So there's no obligation for you to put a credit card info in. As there's no obligation for you to really do anything. To get started. So we're not trying to take everybody's money like some of these are. Matchmaker, a good example. Like we want to better y'all. And that is our goal with this. Is we know what it's like. Y'all know what it's like, and so we're just trying to better the podcast in general.
Yeah, the whole
Um,
community.
so
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I mean, it really gets it to where the smaller people like ourselves and others, or just starting out, to where you can maybe make a couple bucks to upgrade your equipment, make a couple bucks to have some sort of software that you need to purchase or have a monthly fee on, to record or to edit or to process or whatever the case might be, that to help your SEO scores out even within your to get better recognition. And now you sound even bigger as well as you get more recognition because you've got advertisers.
and I think that's important. I think you kind of hit it right there with it. It does make you feel bigger. It does make you feel like you're more popular. It does make you feel like that you're not this, just this is your first episode, because it does have the advertisement in there. And so every time we hear ad, I automatically assume that they're a bigger
Yeah.
podcast or a bigger channel, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, so it'll make you, obviously sound a little bit bigger and more official, I guess. And you really get to dictate between you and the advertiser of how many advertisements you have. Even if you want to flood your podcast full of advertisements, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you can,
Yeah.
as long as the advertisers agree to it being involved in all of those. I mean, because we do see it. I mean, whether you're Super Bowl, it's like every 30 seconds there's a commercial going on. And then those are longer than the actual game time presentation. So, like, I mean, sure, there might be some success there, and you might be able to make some money, but it's probably not going to last very long.
I feel like the looking at and reviewing, I feel like the sweet spot is maybe 2 or 3 advertisers, per episode. That way, you're not drowning your clients or your audience out by ads. So maybe do one at the beginning. When you start, and do another one halfway through. And then maybe a third one at the end. But like you said, I think doing too much. Is going to drown your actual episode and the point of what you're doing as a podcaster. So I definitely agree.
And then the great news is you get to choose the ads that you get. So if it's something that you're not interested in or that doesn't align with your podcast, we all know, like here on YouTube, when you're monetized on YouTube, you don't get to choose who advertises on your platform. YouTube chooses that based on the money that's paid. And then you just earn a little bit of commission from that. Well, on this particular side, you get to choose. So let's say that an advertiser approaches you that doesn't fit with your lining and your branding and your podcast. Well, you can respectfully reject and say, no, this doesn't even align with me, or not something I'm interested in, or whatever the case might be. So you get a little bit more control of who actually advertises on your podcast, which you won't get that control over on YouTube or Spotify or any of the other ones.
Absolutely.
So I think it'll allow you a lot more freedom, and hopefully some financial freedom too at the end of the day, of how you choose your advertisers. Your advertisers obviously get to be picky about who they get to be as well. So on the small business side, if there's a podcast that's even local, or if you're a nationwide small business, so you can advertise on any podcast, well, now you get to be picky as well. So you don't just give YouTube money and say, here, advertise. You get to be picky about who delivers your message, essentially, as a small business owner. So if it's someone that doesn't align with you, or you don't like their message, or how they present things, well, then you don't get to use them.
Yeah. And I think the other thing with the advertisement is we've left it open to how you deliver that advertisement, or how you would like that advertisement be delivered, whether that be, through, a cut out commercial, with a, hey, blah, 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 this is the advertisement, or, even just a shout out, say, hey, thanks for sponsoring me today, blah, 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 like that may be it, So there's a wide range of what the advertiser is looking for. We've added the fact that they can put category, so that, like you said, if your business or whatever, if, that way when you look at it, you can see exactly what they're looking for they also can let you know the audience size, so there may be some, which we try to advise against too, where they say, I want at least 100 subscribers. Now we're going to encourage them not to do that, so that they obviously help out some of these smaller ones that are 10, 15, 50 as well. So we were trying to incentivize them, and that's why I say even $1, because we say, if you're between 1 to I think it's 20 or something like that, $1 is probably the best price for you at that moment. Now when you get a little bit bigger, then obviously they may, and the advertiser wants to request a bigger audience, they can as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a premium with that too. So and yeah, this is for the larger creators too, that are in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands following subscribers. But like, if you look at the way that it's on, like if you ever explore the TikTok app and the advertisements that are on there, like I feel like when an advertiser gives these creators, whether they be TikToks or podcasters, if you give them the free reign to do things, like they get more, a little bit more creative, and a lot of these products on TikTok are just flying, man.
Mhm.
Like just and they don't have any dictatorship over how or what's said or how it's presented. I mean, they're just free willy nilly over there and just allowing people to advertise on however they see fit with their personality. And it seems to be working, honestly. Like TikTok Shop is absolutely insane in the amount of money that they've got to be pushing out product. And so, I mean, the same thing could be done over here, where if the advertiser allows them to have some free reign of how they present things, see how it goes. I mean, there's just so
That's
much
I
freedom.
and that's what we set it up so that there's a messaging system, not just for finding guests or finding podcasts, but we've the chat initially got started so that you could be able to contact that advertiser, and then you guys can have that relationship of you know hey, how do you want it, what's your expectations, what's the podcast that you're looking for, you guys can discuss that. There's some negotiating in there as well. So if they only wanted $1 and you're like, man, this place would be perfect for my podcast, but I would like a little bit more money, hey, contact them and see. Would you be willing to do $2 an episode, $3? Like, we're not saying that what like there's I'm sure the way I figure is there's going to be a lot of advertisers that are going to try to shortchange it. Right? They're going to want the less amount for the more amount.
Of course.
And so there's definitely going to be some negotiating in there, and so hopefully y'all can work it out as you see fit.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be pretty much a lot of freedom for you to run however you see fit. I mean, on this thing, there's not going to be much rules or guidelines, even, just because at the end of the day, it's your podcast and it's your small business. So if the two of you between the small business and the podcaster can come together and say, hey, this is our price, this is what we're going to agree on, this is how you're going to present it, this is what's going to happen, and y'all agree to it, well, then everybody should be happy at that point.
That's the other, while we're kind of on the subject, something that I also kind of built into there was an admin dashboard, so that, just in case, there's an advertiser that's kind of trying to be an asshole, or trying to say you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Like, we brought it in there so that y'all can bring it to our attentions, and then we can review it. And if we feel like that you did complete what you guys talked about or what you did, then we can go ahead and process it on our side. So that way, at the end of the day, we want to get you your money.
Yeah, and beyond that, I mean, we're very open to changes, so and ideas. So even like now, as you're listening, if you hear anything that would be a great idea or that you feel like would be something to improve or even take away, like, leave a comment, shoot
Absolutely.
us an email. We're definitely open to
Yeah.
ideas and collaborate with people too as well. And even if that's an exchange for work or whatever the case might be, um, we're open to any ideas. So if you have, an idea that you're like, hey, I've been thinking about this for a while, and you want to throw it our way and see if we can implement it, well, more than likely we will. I mean, because right now we're at that beginning stage to where it's one, easy to make changes, and two, we're so young that it can be happening if we feel like it's a good idea.
Well, I think the other thing is that between both of us, we the it's the leadership style, right? We want to. Our ultimate goal here is to grow podcasters, right?
Mhm.
To grow creators, and so whatever we can do to help improve that, because that's our ultimate goal, right? Is we want to help podcasters stay podcasting if they want. There's some people that absolutely love doing podcasting. I enjoy doing podcasts. I
Oh yeah,
enjoy
same.
meeting, businesses and business owners, and learning their leadership and all that. So that's the goal here, is to grow podcasting, because we all know podcasting has become the thing to do in the past couple of years. But it can get hard to get past what is it, like 100 videos. Like,
Yeah.
most podcasters don't make it to 100 videos, and so we want to help you get past that 100 videos. We want to make it so that as we can make as many successful as we can, And so, like you said, yeah, absolutely bring ideas to us. It may be a little bit harder for us to implement because we don't know it, but we would definitely take everything into account. And we definitely, if we can figure out a way to implement it and it works effectively, then absolutely. Because this is going to be a community ran system more than some company.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're very open to change and hearing other fresh ideas as well. So feel free to, like I said, email us, leave a comment of any ideas that you feel like might contribute well, especially if you're podcasters. And we're looking to connect with fellow podcasters as well of all different sizes to help improve this and test this product out and this platform out or whatever. If you want and you want to be a part of even helping test it, reach out to us. We're
And
definitely
that's
open.
I don't mean to interrupt you again. I keep doing this, but it's fine. But with the Indigo, we have built it so that the just donating $5 to our program gets you 3 months early access. And so that's something that we've kind of done there. Again, we're not trying to ask for $1 million. We
I
just
mean, we'll
want
take
to.
it. We
We'll
will
definitely take
absolutely
it.
take
We'll definitely take it. That
it.
and
Just want to make
maybe a
that
nice
clear.
maybe a nice car, like a Lamborghini or Ferrari. I mean, I'm just saying, no, but so if you are interested, like even if you don't want to donate money to us, that's fine. Reach out to us. Our email is fairly easy. It's podcash ai.com or at gmail.com. So feel free to hit us up there. And you can go through our previous video and our Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, anyway, Indigo, and you can see what the platform actually looks like. It's there. It's almost functional. I'm still trying to work some kinks out of there and stuff. But we have something that's there. It's not something that we're dreaming of. We built it. It's there.
Right.
It's somewhat functional right now, but there's still some things that I'm trying to figure out in that. But it's there. And so if nothing else, if you could just let people know, let other podcasters know, even post it on your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, get the word out there so that we can get as many people into this system, because that's what it's going to depend on. Yeah, this is ultimately going to succeed or fail based on the number of people we can bring into the platform.
Right. And
And
business.
so we not only have to work on getting podcasters into the platform, we also have to get small businesses into the platform as well. And so it's going to take a relationship between the two. And so this is probably not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take months and months and months. But the key is getting the word out there first, getting it out there, uh, quick, and a lot, getting our name out there a lot. I want people to
Absolutely.
hear I want people to know podcasting because they saw another video, or they just saw another, somebody else let them know about it. That's what we're looking for.
Yep. Well, with that said, we're going to continue doing more episodes on this to just keep getting the word out about podcast and hopefully start connecting with other podcasters. So if this is something that you're definitely interested in, hit us up so we can connect and start collaborating together. And then if you're a small business, hit us up too. We can absolutely still collab with you as well. And you can be one of the early ons as well and get some cheap advertisement. Um,
I
but
went
yeah,
ahead and showed
there's a website.
it's live, but it's not live. So by that I mean, right now we have a landing page where you can subscribe to your email, put your email in there, and then we can keep you up to date that way. So again, it's not the actual full live functioning yet, but that is a website for you to go check out. At least put your email in there so you can stay on top of updates and that kind of thing.
All right. With that said, y'all have a wonderful day. Hoping to collab with a bunch of you guys here soon, and
Absolutely.
hopefully we can get this thing off the ground.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time to listen to us. I know we kind of probably rambled on a lot, but we're excited about this. So
Absolutely.
hopefully you guys can be excited as well.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Business After Hours, where the ties loosen, the suit relax, and we talk business without the boardroom. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of business after hours.